This amazing atheist versus Kraut and T drama has been embarrassing. I won't call it a debate, and I won't call it an argument, because you're looking at two guys who pretty much 98% agree with each other. That everything is built around mischaracterizations, misunderstandings, errors in communication, and outright fucking straw men. We'll start with the amazing atheist. This all started over a tweet where the amazing atheist said way more people die in car crashes than they do from terrorism. What was the amazing atheist saying there? He was arguing for an awareness, a perception of what's going on. The reason why he was advocating to be cynical of this problem is so that you don't overreact emotionally. The United States caused the destabilization of the Middle East and Iraq and fucking Syria and Afghanistan, introduced the Patriot Act, stripped away fucking Americans' right to privacy, so all the rise of the NSA and the Department of Homeland Security, all this bullshit, all the way down to me having this fucking x-ray machine look at me fucking naked. Those fucking machines that you go in the airport where you put your hands up and it goes, wee, wee, they can see your fucking genitals. Okay? I know what those can see. All of that shit and much, much more was because we completely fucking overreacted. And we had almost 4,000 people die. And I still call that an overreaction. It was too much of a price to pay for the supposed safety, to have our fucking right to privacy, and to have the government do all this shit to the rest of the world. It was simply a warning. And it was not saying don't react. It was in no fucking way a defense of Islam at all. And Kraut and T has had the same problem that I've accused guys like Vernaculus of, is they get fatigue, this sort of intellectual fatigue, because they get used to arguing with a certain kind of person. Whether it's a cuck, or an SJW, or a radical feminist, or just an out-and-out retard, or trolls. And I've had this happen to me. You begin to train your brain to automatically respond to certain things. And I saw extremely strong evidence that Kraut and T made a bunch of prejudicial assumptions about the amazing atheist that were entirely unfounded. He's obviously used to dealing with people who call him an Islamophobic bigot, and all these people who fucking do cuck themselves for Islam, who fucking defend all this shit, people who are cultural and moral relativists. And yeah, me, Kraut, and the amazing atheist all fucking despise these people who fucking throw around this term gross and racist and Islamophobic, and who defend what Germany's obviously having to go through with this immigration crisis, where all these fucking terrorist-supporting, Sharia law-wanting, non-assimilating fucking immigrants, even if they're not blowing themselves up, they're still a fucking problem, and a drain on their welfare system. We're all aware of this shit. And none of that was the original point. And the point was, have some fucking cynicism about this. Don't overreact. Don't be terrified. That's what the terrorists want. They want you to draw into all this conflict. They want your fucking society to get fucked up. And Kraut and T's wandering in going, fucking immigration crisis and Merkel and Cologne and all this shit. And every time, TJ's like, I know, I'm not disputing that. That wasn't what I was talking about. You're comparing apples to oranges. Bullshit! If thousands upon thousands of people die from car crashes, or millions of people die from heart disease, and nobody gives a shit, but 150 people die from terrorism, and everybody loses their goddamn minds, is a valid point about the public perception and lack of fucking awareness and proper proportional response. Because the reason why terrorism is bad is because it kills people. And so TJ was talking about terrorism. And then Kraut and T comes in and says, Fucking cultural encroachment, Sharia law is bad, Islamic culture is ridiculous and regressive and fucking barbaric and savage, and we're all like, I know that's not what we're talking about. And to say that TJ is not aware of that is bullshit. To say that TJ is in defense of that is horseshit. So where does all this drama come from? And where are all these fucking jealous TJ haters, many people which I am subscribed to and a fan of, are unfortunately members of this army? Guys like Naked Ape and that guy T, who I've actually kind of gotten completely fed up with. Because that guy T made a fucking apparently very well-liked video on the subject where he pulled a total Stefan Molyneux and turned the whole thing into arguments about gun rights and libertarianism, as the fucking libertarians tend to do. You know, fucking everything comes back to taxes or violence and the government is bad. Well, that's still not the reason why I'm having a fucking complete brain meltdown. Is because behind what TJ was saying was, fucking government is bad. Why the fuck was he saying have a correct proportional response? Because the US government had a fucking completely out of proportion response with fucking dire, far-reaching consequences. Permanent fucking consequences. So, as sort of a friendly warning, he put out that somewhat insensitively stated, but otherwise completely rational fucking tweet, and these guys are losing their fucking minds. Why? Because Kraut and T, who apparently thinks TJ's an ignorant ass hick in a fucking cornfield and doesn't know what he's talking about. He does. The problem is Kraut seems incapable of deciphering what TJ's talking about. And I just watch them go argue on and on, around in a fucking circle. I like Kraut and T. I have not seen a lot of his content, but I actually plan on subscribing to him shortly after I upload this video and watching a bunch of his stuff. What you're seeing is an emotional, childish response. Where you're seeing a lot of guys whose content tends to be to kind of flip the fuck out. Properly, on YouTube, flip the fuck out. Guys like Naked Ape. You know, guys like the Atheism is Unstoppable, flip out, very vitriolic, get angry. I'm one of those guys a lot of the time. I flip out, I get fucking angry. But this is the internet. DJ was talking about real life. And so a bunch of guys, a lot of which I think are honestly very jealous of the Amazing Atheist success and resentful that he's very jaded and tends not to freak out or use the same rhetoric. So you're seeing a lot of people, just like Kraut and T, who almost 100% agree with TJ, but are mad at him for the way he talks and the way he thinks. They're tone policing him. This entire fucking argument was about tone policing. That's a red flag. That's an SJW behavior, ladies and gentlemen. Tone policing is stupid progressive bullshit. That's why I'm embarrassed. That's why I'm embarrassed about this fucking drama. Because all it is about tone policing. That's childish, infantile bullshit, people. Jesus fucking Christ, get your act together. Thanks for watching.